Hi, Gems. Welcome to another episode of Wonderful Beauty.
Before we get into it, there's some real quick K-pop news. First off, Astro celebrates their 10th anniversary on February 3rd. Fantagio gives us absolutely nothing. Nothing about a new tour, new album, anything. I'm hoping it's one of those delayed things.
Right,
we'll
like they're still
later.
prepping, maybe.
Right.
That's all behind the scenes, yeah.
We did, of course, receive a post on Twitter, Instagram, all those things for their anniversary. And they had the audacity to remove Rocky from the post. So Fantagio is under fire again.
So, like, they didn't include a photo of him, or oh, why?
It's one of those things where I'm sure they probably would have had to get his permission. They probably would have had to pay him. It's the same. I'm sure it's not the same level as like the Monster X and Wonho thing.
Right, yeah.
Whereas,
I think it's just probably a money thing, maybe.
Yeah, because I'm sure they had to pay him a buttload just to get him to tour with the group during their last tour. So
right, for sure. Yeah, that is very true. All right, next one. Alexa returns with her new single, Tongue-Tied.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. I've seen snippets because I follow her on Instagram. I guess we are sticking with Alexa instead of her other stage name. So
yeah, that's what I was confused about too, because I was like, it still says Alexa, so I don't. Well,
she did release a Q&A video along with Tongue-Tied, so there may be an explanation in there why she is still using that.
All right, research for a later time.
Which I'm glad.
Right.
This one's for Anne. Tacyeon has announced that he will finally be marrying his longtime girlfriend on April 24th of this year. We already got the engagement announcement, but until there was a date, nobody really believed him.
I know. Even though he said in the one of the award show, the actor award show, he was like thanking his fiance. He did say fiance. I'm just like, but bro, when's the date?
Right. Exactly.
When's the date? So Tiffany Young, former of Girls' Generation, announced marriage to Byung Yeohan on February 27th, making her the first member of Girls' Generation to get married. But I want to clarify though, this is only on paper. It's not like a whole ceremony type thing, which I'm sure she may want to do, invite some members in and everything like that, their actor friends and everything. So this is just only on paper. And Byung Yeohan's agency, his company, even had to clarify that she's not pregnant. They just want to get married on paper. Like, it was just crazy to say, but she's not pregnant, you guys.
It's like you said, it's crazy to say that that's the first thing that we think of. Like, oh, shotgun wedding, all of a sudden they had to get married.
Right? It's so fast too, because they just announced they were engaged like beginning of this year, I think. So
well, we can't all be Tacyeon. I mean, come on.
Come on now.
And then Wonho celebrates his 33rd birthday today. It's in Korea, it's his birthday today. It's still a day behind for us in America. But he is 33, not 32. I've seen a lot of posts saying happy 32nd birthday, Wonho, but he's 33. He was born in 1993, which makes him 3 years younger than me and Ann.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're kind of close in age. It's not that far away. It's not like, you see the 2000 babies and you're like, ooh, that's...
No, the worst ones is when they're the 2010 babies and we're like, we were already out of high school. Go away.
No, right? Exactly. Oh, weird.
All right. So that was all the K-pop news real fast. It's been kind of a quiet week for K-pop, actually, which is never a bad thing. Sometimes it's a really good thing when there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just because Milan is starting their fashion shows for the different brands. So a lot of idols were going there too. There's a little bit of tours, but not super busy yet. I'm sure once we hit like March and April, there's going to be tons of announcement for summer tours. So
yeah, which we're already trying to prep for those because there's so many of our big names are coming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's get into the actual episode today. This is one that we've been working on for a while. But before we can really begin today's episode, we actually have to go back in time. This is a third gen video, but we have to go even further back than the third gen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So before the likes of BTS and 17, back before Wonder Girls brought K-pop to the West, even further back than when BoA was taking Korea and Japan by storm, all the way back in the year 1998, we in North America were enjoying the sounds of Spice Girls, NSYNC, and Mariah Carey. South Korea was being graced by the experimental sound called Koyote. The first generation of K-pop was a masterclass in the original K-pop sound. We saw groups like GOD, HOT, Finkel, and Shinhwa debut and shape the world that would eventually become K-pop. A lot of acronyms in the first generation.
I know, they love their acronyms. I remember seeing a bunch of like dots in between letters. I was like, they're doing something here. I don't know what this is, but...
What set Koyote apart from their peers was the fact that they were one of the first co-ed groups in K-pop. While they were preceded by Rura and Uptown, Koyote has a legacy that has spanned almost 30 years. So we're over here getting excited for 10 years with Monsta X, 10 years with Astro, 10 years with 17. And then there's Koyote over here like lighting their cigarette up and be like, pathetic.
Back in my day.
So many tried the co-ed experiment to capture the success that Koyote had, but scandals and other components left many unable to find an audience. Koyote, on the other hand, has set a culture that has granted them titles such as the Nations Group or the Definitive Sound of Summer in Korea.
True.
They were even responsible for the opening of One Piece for the Korean version of the anime. So instead of getting like Bon Voyage and all that, like how Japan had their version, America had their version, Korea actually created their own entire opening for One Piece when it came to Korea.
Nice.
So despite the rare story of one of Korea's favorite groups, we will actually not be focusing on Koyote today. Though if we ever do decide to venture into the first generation, they will of course be a prime topic. Instead, we'll be focusing on one of Korea's other longest lasting groups, KARD. So we are prepared today. Hopefully BM gets to see Hopefully BM gets to see us. We got our Big Titty Gang shirts on today. You know, save a titty, join the committee. We'll have a whole section about the Big Titty Committee so you guys can understand that we're not just weird.
The icon of it, but also if you don't know about the Big Titty Committee, where have you been, man?
Right. So KARD is a group that went against all pre-established formulas set up by the K-pop industry. In an industry that historically avoided co-ed groups, KARD was the anomaly. Instead of following the failed path of co-ed groups before them, KARD decided to break all the standards of the time. Instead of focusing on domestic success, KARD actually focused on the more international market. To start out, KARD is a South Korean co-ed group under DPS Media consisting of 4 members. Big Matthew, also known as BM, Jseph, Somin, and Jiwoo. Before we get into the history and success that is KARD, we actually have to get to know the members and their pre-debut just a little bit. BM, also known as the King KARD, is from Los Angeles, California, and had no interest in being in music. He was actually a psychology major intending to be a counselor for troubled youth. While he had always been interested in dance, it was just a hobby. That was until he joined a dance team that performed at the World of Dance competition. The dance crew placed high, and Matthew was responsible for part of the choreography. It's kind of weird to call him Matthew and not, BM.
Yeah, I know, right? But that is his government name, so we have to go for it.
Going forward, we'll correct ourselves. His mother actually saw him perform and was so impressed that she signed him up for the LA auditions for the survival show K-Pop Star Season 1.
That's way back.
BM was reluctant to participate in the competition due to his poor Korean skills. This would prove to be a hindrance since he would forget lyrics several times because of the language barrier. Despite this, Judge BoA saved him 3 times, seeing the potential in his performance style. BM would be placed in the top 50, but would ultimately be eliminated. He would eventually be scouted by DPS Media. Jseph, also known as the Ace KARD, is from Cheongju, South Korea. Unlike his bandmate, Jseph was always interested in music, specifically influenced by the Korean hip-hop scene. He cited artists such as Benzino and Simon Dominic as his primary role models, which influenced him to pursue rapping. Before moving to Seoul, Jseph spent 3 months in Canberra, Australia. He credited this time as his first real experience outside of his hometown. While not a musical pursuit, this time abroad did help Jseph with basic foundation of English. He often jokes that while he's not as good as BM, because that's his native tongue,
Right.
these 3 months actually helped him be able to connect better with international audiences.
For sure.
Returning to Korea, he moved to Seoul and began auditioning for various companies until he was recruited by DPS in 2011, making him the trainee with the longest history. These two were originally actually supposed to be a hip-hop duo. Somin, known as the Black Joker, was already familiar with the industry. She started out as a member of Purity, a Japan-based girl group formed from the anime Pretty Rhythm Dear My Future. Following the disbandment of Purity, Somin competed on the reality show Kara Project to become the newest member of the group Kara. She finished third, narrowly missing her chance to join the group. She wasn't done, though. She would later debut as the leader of April in August of 2015. Her tenure in the group was short, and she would actually leave in November of the same year, feeling that the group's cute aesthetic didn't fit her. Rounding out the group was the color joker, Jiwoo. Jiwoo originally trained at FNC Entertainment, training alongside members of SF9 and Cherry Bullet. After 5 years at the company, she decided to leave and audition for DPS Media. She said in an interview that she officially joined the company and recorded their single Oh Na Na on the very same day. Unlike many idols, Jiwoo only trained for 2 months under DPS before KARD was officially revealed to the public. So, pre-debut out of the way, everyone has some sort of background, especially Somin. It was actually very interesting to find out that she had been in so many groups before deciding on KARD.
Right.
So during 2016, taking a gamble on a co-ed group was risky. The glory days of Kara were beginning to fade, and the industry had already seen a return of the flower boy or flower girl concepts, such as Astro, Twice, K&K, and G-Friend. The industry hadn't seen a major success with a project like this since the first and second gens. To take such a risk, DPS had to break the traditional debut. In an industry that shifted back over to the flower concepts of earlier generation and a deep oversaturation of the schoolgirl, schoolboy concepts, KARD instead focused on a more rugged, bestial image that had been seen with groups like EXO, BTS, BAP, and Monsta X. BM and Jseph were styled with a more rugged and hip-hop inspired edge, while Somin and Jiwoo brought the bad girl sophistication. 2PM may have been the predecessors of that beast idol concept, but man, did third gen take off with it. You either had two options. You had the cutesy flower concept, or you had the beast idol criminal concept. There was no real in between during the third gen.
I know, right? It's either you're like the good boy, good girl, you know, but then on the other side, it's like, I commit crimes.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. It was like, spring, flower. And then you got people over here breaking out of prison, starting running.
Dude, they're carrying like a baseball bat. They're like, Pop.
Which is funny to see because you go back to 2PM and they were the beast idols, but they were dorks chasing a girl.
Yeah, for sure. It's just all looks. Like it's pretty much what we always like to say. Mingyu is like he's all looks, but the brain nothing.
Right. DPS focused heavily on KARD's pre-debut career. This saw the release of 3 single projects, each with their own hidden KARD feature. There's going to be a lot of quotes in this episode, just fair warning.
All right, nice.
This would be either a guest artist or a secret version of the song. The first was Oh Na Na, a song that was drastically different than what was currently dominating the domestic market. Instead of a high-energy synth pop or cute concept, Oh Na Na introduced a tropical dance hall sound, which gave it a more Western club track vibe. While Koreans considered it repetitive, it was absolutely eaten up in the US and Latin American market.
Oh, yeah.
This would set the stage for their global marketing strategy. The hidden KARD feature in this music video was the hidden member, Young G of Kara. Her presence helped establish a bridge between stands of the second and third generation, and it also helped bring attention to the group with a pre-established celebrity performing with them. While she appeared in the video, she wouldn't appear on music shows for promotion. This helped shift focus back to BM, Jseph, Somin, and Jiwoo instead.
For sure. And to have or DPS. They were very smart in doing that too, because Kara was a huge name back for the second generation for sure. And sadly, when they lost their member, to also bring in Yoongi, who a lot of people were like kind of hating on time, because they're like OT5, those are things like no one will ever replace her and whatever. But I think Yoongi was a great selection for this, and not like an original member of Kara.
Right.
Because it's, like you said, it's bridging the second and third generation, but also kind of like that, almost like that gateway in a sense, because she's the newest member of Kara, and making sure people kind of accept her, and also accepting this new group they are debuting at the time.
I agree. Yeah, it was a very, very smart choice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she was the newest member of Kara though, so that definitely kind of helps bring in her fans, but also, like you said, maybe bringing in a new fan base to help her career as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We never mentioned it, but I'm pretty sure most people have already know that one of the Kara members has sadly committed suicide and passed away after lots of I believe it was bullying that was also the cause of it as well, unless I'm mixing that up with Sully of FX. May they rest in peace. But after that, a lot of people were like, oh, they should not either continue or even have a new member. But then when they think it was like the right time, that's when they did the whole finding a new member for Kara's or things. I mean, now she's like loved, accepted, everything, but at the time there was a lot of backlash for it. Yeah.
It would be like if Astro were to bring in a new member to replace Moonbin. Like,
yeah,
exactly. when you create your own fandom and you're so beloved, and then tragedy happens, it doesn't just affect that one member, it affects the entire group as well. So I can only imagine how hard it was for her to come into that group and have to replace that poor girl.
Right, exactly. And just kind of like step up into, again, one of the biggest K-pop groups of the second generation. It's different for like Wonder Girls, right? Because Wonder Girls, JYP, it's not like anyone has passed away or anything like that. It's just like a graduation system that after school at the time also kind of implemented. So, members will come and go as well, which is what we see with NCT as well, but they kind of move into different units. So yeah, it's just a very fine line, but Yoongi is the newest one at the time for Kara. Oh, this was such a good song, by the way.
Outside of like one album, I don't think they ever really had a flaw.
You know, right?
And I think a lot of that attributes to the fact that we are getting different sounds than what we were used to at the time.
Yeah, I would like to label their songs or the sound that they put out with their music is very easy to listen for the Western market, for the Western demographic. Yeah.
It's that whole focusing on like club tracks and stuff like that. And it also helped that they had an LA boy in their group as well.
Yeah, for sure.
You also see that the playing cards actually have an American flag on the back as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Man, they were babies.
They really. Well, the weird thing is like Jseph and Somin have not aged a bit since this episode. Like, BM has definitely, you can see he's gotten more mature in the face and everything, and especially Jiwoo. You can tell Jiwoo has not aged, but she has definitely come into her looks a lot more. Like, she's definitely grown up a lot more.
Yeah, kind of losing the, I think what they call it, like the teenage features type thing. It's like growing up.
I think it's also discovering that identity as well, because we'll see as they progress, like they go into they focus more on their bad boy, bad girl personas.
Right.
And I haven't seen Somin in anything else, so it'd be weird to go back and watch her in these cutesy groups because she fits this aesthetic so well.
Oh yeah. I remember when April debuted back in the day, and I was just like, oh, they're so cute. I was like, they didn't tell me that she was this. I'm like, that's weird.
She was even the leader of April, which is even more wild.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe that's why she always beat Tiffany with BM.
Next slice.
She's like,
throat punch.
And she's over here like, oh, if I'm the leader, boy.
Why does it look like they stuck a man bun on the back of Jeseph's head?
Yeah, it did look like that for a while. I was like, whoa.
Because he's got that nice little slick back, but then like,
it has a little.
Anyways, let's focus on Young G.
Yeah, no, right?
That was it's a very smart marketing move to do this in the video, because like I didn't know beforehand that I thought it was Jiwoo or Somin who was singing that part. So it draws more attention to come back to the video to be like, oh wait, that's actually somebody else. Like, wait, hold on.
Exactly. Man, them seeing all the Jokers in the car just reminds me of that Japanese show on Netflix. Oh, Alice in Borderland.
Alice in Borderland, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very strong for not even a debut. That's a pre-debut.
Yeah, it's a pre-debut, but it definitely grabs, like, internationally a lot of attention, though.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ona Na was a massive success for the group. Within its first month, Ona Na reached #2 on the US iTunes K-pop charts and broke into the top 5, the Billboard World Digital Song Sales Chart. Billboard, you got to start shortening your names of your charts.
I know, like, right? You need to start using the acronyms, Billboard.
Right? The music video reached 6.3 million views in just 1 month, which was a massive feat for a group that had never appeared on a single Korean music show.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Following Ona Na, KARD released Don't Recall. Instead of the flirtatious tones of Ona Na, Don't Recall is a darker tone that focuses on a breakup. The lyrics depict a messy breakup that has one individual trying to move on, while the other is pleading for another chance. The chorus "Stop, I don't recall" being a cold dismissal of the entire relationship. The hidden feature of this single was that they were releasing a version entirely in English.
Mm-hmm.
While most groups wait till they have an established fan base to release an English track, KARD instead did this as rookies to capture that international market. The English version allowed international radio stations and Spotify's global viral playlist to pick them up instantly. Don't Recall peaked at #5 on the world digital sales and at #1 on the iTunes K-pop chart in the US and several European countries. On YouTube, it exploded faster than Ona Na, reaching 10 million views in just the first month. This is still the baby ages of like YouTube, guys. Like,
right,
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Finishing off the Trinity project, Rumor is a dancehall and reggaeton track that represents the pain of hearing rumors that your ex has moved on. The music video this time had 2 special features. The first being the hidden KARD, which wasn't another idol, but their choreographer Jseph. Jseph was a dancehall specialist who ensured that the group weren't just idols that were following trends, instead making sure that KARD performed something that was more grounded in street. This resonated massively with Brazil and Mexico, where their rhythms were part of the local DNA. The second was a partnership with LG. So this was common in 2nd and 3rd gen. Go back to Big Bang and 2NE1 when they did their Lollipop song.
Oh, yeah, right? Oh, my God. So good.
While it was used to promote a new phone, the music video itself was designed specifically to be watched on smartphones. This is where a majority of the international fans were consuming their content. This was one of the first times a K-pop group prioritized mobile first viewing over traditional widescreen TV formats.
That's smart. That's very smart, knowing that international fans are now focusing on them and then being like, you know what we can do to make it more accessible for them? This.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Back during that day, like Japan, I can't speak for Korea, but if you look at like J-dramas, video games, and even animes, the characters are still using flip phones in Japan. Whereas us over here, like at this time, again, had moved over to the format of on-the-go smartphones and things like that. So it would make sense, like you said, to be like, we're focusing on that market. They're not sitting at home waiting for Music Bank to come on or, the show. They're sitting in class or on the bus on YouTube watching these videos.
Right, for sure.
To finish their pre-debut project, KARD embarked on the Wild Card Tour, which saw them visit Chicago, Houston, LA, Toronto, Mexico City, and several cities in Brazil. While they were still pre-debut rookies, they were greeted as official idols by thousands who knew them from the Trinity project. So how many groups can you think of that go on a semi-world tour before they even officially debut?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
you don't. That's things you don't hear about.
Right, and it's a huge risk too because again, company has to put money into this. So they literally said, "We're gonna come up with this group that's co-ed with a sound that's catered to the Western music market, and then we're gonna make them tour and meet fans."
Exactly.
Whereas a couple million views.
Whereas again in Korea, they haven't even stepped foot on a debut show yet.
Right, exactly. They're not even on Music Bank or anything like that whatsoever.
So KARD would make their official debut on July 2017 with their first mini album, Ola Ola. Despite their international success, this would see KARD's first appearance on domestic soil, and they would be treated as an official rookie group.
Mm-hmm.
Ola Ola was a much brighter song than anything in the Trinity project. The music video for Ola Ola, I speak Spanish. I don't know why this is so hard to say. It broke records. It had 3.8 million views in 24 hours, beating the record previously held by Blackpink's Boombaya. It was also a hit. It also hit number 3 on the world albums chart. Domestically, it wasn't a big hit. It debuted at number 76 on the Gaon digital charts. While not a number 1, it was a huge victory for a group since most people expected them to be too international to even chart in Korea.
That's very true.
After their showcase in Seoul, the group finally revealed their fandom name to be Hidden KARDs, or just Hiddens. They explained that the D in KARD stood for hidden. So you have K, which is king for BM.
Right.
Ace for Jseph, and then the R is for the R and Joker, which is Somin and Jiwoo, and then the D is for their fandom, Hiddens. They revealed that without their hidden KARDs, their hand wouldn't be complete.
Cute.
With their official debut, KARD tried to play the international idol game. They gave the public bright colors, summer vibes, and sunny smiles. Unfortunately, the domestic market was already starting to lose interest in the tropical house sound, considered to be more of a niche Western trend.
That's true. That's true.
In response, KARD shifted over to a darker tone. In November of 2017, they released You and Me with the title track You in Me. The music video was a psychological thriller that paired the members off as toxic, obsessive couples. This would kill KARD's idol image and replace it with an adult K-pop concept. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse.
While the song reached number 4 on the Billboard World Albums chart and the top 10 on iTunes chart in numerous countries, including the US, Brazil, and Europe, it failed to break into the main Gaon Digital Top 100. The sound was considered to be too experimental and dark for the average Korean listener. So instead of watching You in Me, Anne and I decided that we're going to focus on the B-side, Trust Me, to show a more vocal side of the group. Originally, the song was separated into 2 different versions, a Jseph and Jiwoo version, and then a BM and Somin version. The physical release of the album saw the KARD version, which included all 4 members. As someone who has seen KARD live, Anne wanted to make sure that we had at least one ballad in here. Otherwise, we would just be having a rave the entire video.
I know. It's just us vibing the whole time. No. We need to show how well-rounded this group can be, so.
Right, exactly. So I've said this before, and I feel like when you first get into KARD, you're immediately, like, entrapped by BM. Because, you know, he's the bad boy, he's the LA boy, you know, all about body. But as you get older, and this is not a slight against BM in case, you know, he watches this video. Because,
hey, yo, BM!
Because, you know, he does like to look at fan content. But I think as you get older, at least for me personally, you do realize that there's more of a mature and sophisticated aura to Jseph.
Yeah.
So I'm OT4, don't get me wrong, but BM was definitely my bias for a while, but as I've gotten older and gotten more into it, Jseph is definitely kind of like, push BM very gently out of the way.
For sure.
But I think if you look at my biases in particular, like you Bang Chan, Shonu, and stuff like that, I do tend to gravitate more towards like the sophisticated gentleman type.
Well, also my theory is that, so now you can see BM here, right? He's obviously not buffed up yet. Like, I'm sure he has muscles on him, but not big muscles, you know? So he's still kind of slim and everything, so you're like, ooh, I'm very attracted to that. But then obviously as the year progresses and BM and Jseph, all of them are like working out more, they're building more muscles on them or whatever, then you start to realize like, oh, he's getting a little too big, and then you're like,
You can see that. I mean, I still love BM, but... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the quiet side of Jseph because BM's so loud and very in your face,
like extroverted.
Yes. I mean, again, look at Wonho. I mean, and Shonu.
Seeing a pattern here. What's the eyes? You don't want no
So I'd actually never heard the song until you had suggested this one. I love.
Sounds really good.
I love the simplicity of it, like especially the black and red, and how like they have the members in introverted colors. Like so, Jseph's in all black with the red jacket, whereas BM is in black with the red sticking out.
Yeah. I always like when they like pair up and dance with each other too. It's not you see much with other idol groups either.
Oh, that's such a good song.
It's so good, and sometimes we know that BM's rapping tend to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, especially since he has a lower tone and everything.
Right.
I think this one fits well because he definitely softened it a little bit more, which is great. Because some rappers, you know, they don't know how to tone down the aggressiveness and they just keep going hard. This one, he was able to adapt to it a lot better, in my opinion.
I agree, and I think it's also a struggle that lower register in general has, because like,
yeah.
To use Stray Kids as an example, Felix, I think, struggles a lot with the not so hyped up songs because his voice has that
so
lower
low
register.
Yeah,
that
it's
it's almost grating sometimes because you'll have like IN's voice, you'll have Bang Chan's like higher register, and then here comes Felix, and he's not even got that lower register. There's a grit to it, very similar to Jungkook.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it can be almost jarring when he comes in, because you're like vibing, you're kind of listening, and then you're like, oh, hi Felix, welcome to the party, you know?
Right, yeah. And also it's also the deliverance of it too, because I think we mentioned before with like back to the hip hop episode with Simon Dominic, I was saying how like whenever you have a lower register of a voice and you're rapping, it tends to slow you down, right? Whereas like, so like Felix, whenever he's rapping, it tends to be a little slower down. But then if you compare it to like Changbin, he's able to rap fast because he has a little bit of a higher register. And then with Han, even higher register, right? So, but then with like Simon Dominic, he obviously trained very hard for it to where he can deliver his rap very fast, even with the lower tone. BM, I think he's just able to adapt easier only because he has the quote unquote idol training more, like the more well-rounded idol training.
We saw something very similar with Where Are You with BAP.
Yeah,
where,
exactly.
Because we mentioned that Jungkook and Zello are more of the in-your-face, bam, bam, bam type of rappers. Right. Whereas during that part, you know, Zello was all vocal during that, but Jungkook did have a rap in it, but it was it was slowed down. It was able to vibe very well with the vocals of Daeyeon, Jungkook, and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
KARD continued to fail at grasping success on domestic soil. Despite selling out tours in South America and even performing at South by Southwest, they were still performing to half-empty music shows in Seoul. This would see KARD fully abandon their idol concepts and focus more on a more artistic side. 2019 saw BM take the creative reins. Tired of waiting for the perfect track from an outside producer, he decided to produce the group's music himself. This would see KARD lean more into their Beast Idol side. On March 18th, KARD released Bomb Bomb. This was the first track that the group had released in 8 months, far louder and more aggressive than anything that had been previously released. Bomb Bomb was distinctive due to a Middle Eastern-inspired synth melody. Created by BM, it was also produced by 24, who had worked extensively with the likes of Blackpink GD, Daesun, and was recently heavily involved in the musical production of K-pop Demon Hunters. This song was designed to be a club bang to focus on an older audience. Despite the 8-month success, Bomb Bomb saw KARD return to the international chart. It debuted at number 3 on the World Digital Song Sales chart, making it their 7th entry on the chart and their 5th top 5. It hit number 1 on the iTunes K-pop charts in 21 different countries.
Wow, that's crazy.
We've discussed it all the way back with B/Highlight. Like, becoming a self-producing group is difficult, especially when you haven't been exactly making waves in your own country. Right. Now, I'm sure it helped that 24 also helped produce this album. But I would say this song and the next song are probably their 2 best known songs, even if you're just a casual listener.
For sure. And I think also just, throwing away the whole concept of being a quote unquote idol, like the stereotypical idol in the K-pop scene, BM taking over that and just being like, we're just going to do what we love and enjoy the music rather than trying to cater to whatever is trending. I think it's a very smart idea as well. So that did help
100% agree. And I think that's the entire kind of concept with KARD is like, they tried the K-pop thing. It didn't work. So they're just going to do their own thing. And it's worked out very well for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Well, coming in hot with this. Oh, I forgot he had long hair then.
I think this is the last time we see his long hair, and then there are some creative choices the stylists do after this that I'm not very happy with. Actually, I believe they both had longer hair. I think BM has longer hair too. But they actually styled it.
I can see. Oh yeah.
Also, I'm glad that Jiwoo has basically stayed blonde her entire career because it looks so good on her.
It looks so good on her. Yeah, when she came out with like black hair, I was like, that's weird. Go back to blonde.
Right.
I mean, she looks great, but I was just like, it's the blonde.
I do like that almost Frida Kahlo inspired outfit that they went with Silman.
Yeah. I also love how they're like literally leaning into the Middle Eastern like concept as well, like the music, the sets, and outfits as well too.
I agree 100%. Because it's one thing just to throw, another culture into your music,
right?
Whereas, like, we do the whole Latin thing, like Mamacita, Egotistic, and all that, but like Egotistic was really good because it had the Spanish guitar, it had the Bull Rider influences and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, this one they're like fully leaning into their concept, which is great. And not making it like tacky or anything like that.
Agreed. It's very respectful of the culture.
Yeah.
Ma'am, hello.
Oh, I forgot about that part too. But I know you said that how like it. Oh yeah, it is more there. But so I know you said that this is like a more of an adult concept and everything. Obviously because all this stuff. But the song is like kind of like more easy to listen for all ages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like, and it's all colorful too. So it's not like the adult concept is all just dark, like this scene and everything. They at least add more color to it in the solo shots as well.
It's very much that whole concept of like, we're no longer going to try to cater to the teenagers who are wanting like doo-doo-doo, kumbaya, cheer up and all that. Like, sorry.
I think they, no, I know, I'm distracted too. I'm distracted as well.
But instead, they know that their audience is a Western market. They know that they cater more towards the 20s and up. So they're going to make something that, of course, K-pop fans can listen to, but they're definitely leaning more into the adult. And not just because BM's got his titties out, like
18 plus, you guys. But no, it's also the fact that I think, in my opinion, is that sorry, very distracted by how she's staring to myself right now. It's also the fact that damn, I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
We're gonna go into this video.
I know, really, it's not helping whatsoever.
Anyways, you were saying this is worse than when Jay Park flashes abs during the Jay Park episode.
Why must they be so attractive and distracting? Oh my gosh. But no, so they're also catering to like almost age appropriate. So the best example I can give is that say an idol is I'm just gonna say 30 to make it easy, right? So say they're 30. Can you imagine a 30-year-old still making very cutesy songs like they're still in high school? Like that
Right.
seems a little bit weird, right? At least with them, they're making music where it's their age appropriate. It's not like, well, I mean, they can be cutesy if they want to and everything, but then there's that certain cutesy where you're just a child. You should not,
Right.
but you're an adult. You should not be doing this. They're making music that's more age appropriate for their age and also the audience that they know that's gonna go out and see them as well.
Exactly. Well, and so it's like you said, like you can still be cutesy and be an older group. So a good example is Monsta X, like their song "You Problem." It's a very cutesy, bubbly song, but it's also an insult to like their other partner of like, oh, this is what you expected. You keep ghosting me. Well, guess what? That's a you problem.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas, like, I mean, it's different with girl groups because girl groups can kind of carry the cutesy thing. Like, Twice can do "Cheer Up" until the day that they die. Like,
oh my god, yes, and I'll be so happy for it, man. I'll be living for
it. But like, if Stray Kids was to release a song like "Cheer Up" or "Looky" or, you know, at that point you're kind of like, you guys keep flashing your abs, flexing your biceps. Yeah. Like, you're almost 30, so it's a little weird.
Yeah, for sure. But also, like, I mean, even with Twice growing up, obviously becoming women and everything, when they perform, did they perform Cheer Up? I don't know. Whenever they perform the more cutesier songs during their concerts, it's more mature because, like, even though they're like acting cute, they're like play fighting or whatever on stage, their voices have matured that there's like almost like a different version of it. Another great example is that recently TXT, obviously they're grown up now. They performed Crown, their debut song, like live, and you could hear how much their voices have matured.
Right.
And when they were performing it, they're not acting cutesy and everything and smiling. They were just kind of like, this is our debut song. We're just vibing, that sort of thing. They're not acting cute, like overly cute or anything like that.
Right. And KARD also has that struggle of where they can't really do the cutesy thing because they're co-ed.
Yeah. Right, because we can figure out you.
Right. Now they can do cutesier concepts. So there's a video, and I sent it to you a couple of weeks ago, where they actually perform Koyote's One Piece opening.
I remember that.
And it's them sitting on a couch, and like Jseph is reading the One Piece manga, and they're being all cute and swaying. But that's different than being out here and making bubblegum pop songs.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. There's a different way of putting out there of what your cutesy concept is. It could just be you showing your charm, being cutesy, and then there's like the overly cutesy where you're making everything high pitched. That's almost forced.
Like, I'm sorry, if I ever saw BM do Agu, I'd be like, go backstage. I don't want to go to timeout.
No,
like,
Brian, you're in timeout now for 3 hours.
So this era would actually see the birth of BM's most famous meme, the Big Tiddie Gang. This would be the time when BM was focusing on his fitness and gaining confidence in his appearance. During an Instagram live, a fan asked BM which body part he liked to work out the most. He replied, "You gotta maintain the pecs. You gotta keep the man titties up. Tiddie Gang gotta be strong." I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth.
Verbatim is what he said.
Verbatim. This is a direct quote. I watched the video before I made the script.
What did he say word for word?
The next day, Big Matthew's Twitter timeline was flooded with phrases like "titty," "big titty man," and he's the titty guy.
So many titties.
In an interview with Eric Nam, BM actually said that he is known more as the titty guy than the guy from KARD. But he also officially added other members to the committee, such as Shonu and Wonho of Monsta X, Hongsuk of Pentagon, RM of BTS, Mingyu of 17, Bako of Newest, and Bangchan of Stray Kids. While this was typical behavior from a 27-year-old from LA, this behavior was shocking for a K-pop idol. if you get the chance, go watch that interview. It's very homoerotic because it is. BM is not even like censoring his words. He straight up, I believe, says he says Mingyu's got a nice pair on him.
Yeah, he really did. And I remember Eric going like, "Is this allowed? Am I gonna get canceled?"
And it's so funny because I guess he got banned from V Live for his language and stuff at one point. Yeah. But you see Eric laughing and he's trying to respond, and he's like, "So do you ever just look at the other guys and say you got some chesticles going on?"
Yeah, right, exactly. Like Eric was struggling to say. He's like, "How can I put this lightly without offending anyone?"
Right.
I'm the nation's boyfriend. I can't do this.
Using the meme, BM started to sell BTG merchandise, such as our sweaters, through his brand Stadium. Part of the proceeds went to breast cancer research and awareness. By April 2020, BM and Hiddens had raised over $20,000 for the project. The website is still live. He sells a whole bunch of different stuff on there, including shirts, jerseys, pajamas, sweatpants, and he also... KARD does not have an official light stick, but you know who does have an official light stick? The Big Titty Gang.
We rise.
And this is not a paid endorsement. We are not being endorsed by BM whatsoever. But you can't talk about KARD without talking about the BTG.
I know for sure, but again, it's really funny that people literally do know BM because he's the Tiddie guy. But I think that also kind of helps too because memes, they either make or break you type thing.
Right.
This meme, I'm sure, helped KARD's view go way up.
And after this is when BM would really lean into his LA boy persona.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a video of him and Jiwoo singing, I think, Santa Baby on live. And they're just going and singing the song. And then all of a sudden BM is like, "Santa, bring me some titties." And UCG will go, "Excuse you."
She's like, "What you say?" She's like, "Ooh, what if I honor? If I'm older than you."
Following the success of Bomb Bomb, KARD would place their music entirely in BM's hands. In an interview, he stated that it was often difficult for outside producers to understand the specific co-ed balance KARD needed. Most of their predecessors leaned into a more cute or brother-sister dynamic, which wasn't what KARD was about at all. This is why he took over as the primary songwriter and producer. He wanted to ensure that their songs felt litty, a slang from his LA roots, meaning extremely hyped or lit. Okay. That was a dark time for slang.
And the Gen Z started to take over.
This saw KARD abandon the tropical sound vibe forever, instead focusing on more aggressive sounds instead. On February 12, 2020, the group released their 5th EP, Red Moon. This saw their track Dumb Litty, which is a heavy trap and EDM track. EDM created it to be played at maximum volume in a club or at a festival. Which, if you know anything about KARD, they usually always have an after party at a club. They're all about the club vibe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The music video saw homages to Greek and Norse mythology, with BM as Thor and Zeus, the king and gods of thunder, Jseph as Ares and Dionysus, war and wine, Jiwoo as Hera and Athena, the queen of gods and war and wisdom, and Somin as Aphrodite and Chloris, god of love and beauty and flowers and spring.
I'm gonna be very honest. I don't think I've ever seen Dumb Litty's music video. I obviously heard the song many, many times. Never saw the music video.
You're in for a treat then, because this is definitely, they're leaning more into that artistic idol thing that they wanted to go for.
Nice, awesome. Well, I mean, the fact that they're leaning to the whole Greek mythology, it's gonna be art for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do like that all of their videos have a 15+ rating on them. See, this is where we get the questionable styling choices with Jseph. Like, what is with the swoop on top of his head?
Right?
It looks like somebody went to blow dry it and it was like got stuck in that. We need you on set. Let's go.
Like the cartoons, just like comedically like that forever.
Right. I think this is one of BM's. I think this is one of BM's like most known raps. Is this Spartan Dumb Litty. I will say, KARD will always be serving face in every single video.
For sure. Girl.
That's one thing about Jiwoo. She does not hold back. She always goes hard.
Oh yeah, she goes all in, man.
I also like that there's a very distinct difference between the way Jseph raps and the way that BM raps. Because BM is very aggressive. He's very like in your face, like rap battle style almost. Whereas Jseph he's not as aggressive with it, but he's still very much like. How am I trying to say?
No, girl, no.
Anyways, like I said, BM is very loud, very in your face, where Jseph is more subdued and laid back, but he doesn't lose any of the artistry or even like power behind the track.
Yeah, he's like just delivering with like a purpose.
Right, exactly. And I think that goes back to the fact that BM was originally just a dancer, whereas Jseph was like, no, I want to become a rapper like Simon.
Yeah, he wants to figure out what his like color of rapping is, his style of it, and he's able to like kind of hone into it as they like each song they're releasing. It's just like getting a little bit more toned in. Oh, he's angry.
Well, he is also Aries.
You're right, you know what, you're right.
Jseph is getting a lot of screen time in this video, and I am not upset about it.
Yeah, I think Jseph and Jiwoo in general got more screen time.
Which is something that in a lot of quartets we don't really see, because like we've discussed, off on camera that like Blackpink has always struggled with showcasing all the members. KARD does not have that problem at all, and that's one thing that we see like in the later eras, like we saw with Dum Dum, is like everyone has their scenes and their identities,
and their lines,
but then they come together.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially during this time.
I love that song though.
I do love that song, but one thing that could have happened is because BM had taken off at this time, he could have been the focus of the entire music video, with sprinkling in a little bit with them. But each member, I would say, got pretty equal time, except for, like you said, Jiwoo and Jseph definitely seemed to be got a little more focus.
More in the forefront of it. I wonder if that's just like the concept that BM decided to do, because obviously different songs fits different members better in a sense. So maybe he was like, this is the song that probably focus on them more because they can deliver the vocals in a certain way that me personally will not be able to. So I'm going to push him a little bit more in the forefront. And then like concept wise with dancing too, they're like, oh, they fit the idea of the concept of the Greek mythology better to this music video than the other one. So I mean, I'm sure that's the thought process, of course, and then like the artistry of it behind it too, which I think makes it smarter.
At least he's only having to figure it out for 4 members. He could be having to figure it out for 13 members, like poor Woozy.
Oh my god. Every single time 17 comes back, I'm like, who is the focus this time?
Right.
No one.
Well, I don't know. My first comeback was Super, and Wonho definitely was a major focus in that one.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that. But also a little bit of V8, only because he had that arm injury at the time, so they were able to, the transition of it. Yeah,
I would say the Chinese line got a very big focus in that. I guess with it being the Legend of Sun Wukong, that would make a lot of sense.
Exactly. Which is great because I'm pretty sure Woozy was like, you know what, this is more of the Chinese storytelling type thing. I'm going to push the Chinese members further in a little bit more.
Anyways, back to KARD, because you know how we get.
To KARD.
The song peaked at number 3 on the World Digital Song Sales Chart, making it their 10th entry onto that chart. So internationally, they're doing fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful.
It was a viral hit on YouTube and Spotify, with the choreography becoming a massive trend for dance cover groups worldwide. Unfortunately, the group did not see any success domestically. This would go on to be known as the KARD paradox, where they would do great on all of the U.S. international charts, and then when they would come to Korea, Korea would be like, eh.
Like crickets. The crickets are sounding in the background. Yeah.
However, it was considered to be a cult favorite amongst Korean fans who loved the traditional Korean remix version, which added traditional instruments to the heavy trap beat that the group will perform on special stages.
I can see that. Yeah.
Red Moon was followed by Way with Words, a clever wordplay on how language can be used to heal or harm. The title track Gunshot dealt with the trauma caused by malicious comments and toxic relationships. Each member represented a different form of trauma. Jiwoo represented psychological violence and the feeling of being trapped. Jseph represented cyber violence and fake personas. Somin was verbal abuse and the pressure of public scrutiny. And finally, BM represented physical and emotional numbness, specifically the struggle of men to admit that they are hurting, a theme that will come back at a later date. So I had no idea about this. I love Gunshot. I've heard it 100 times. I think it was the first KARD album I ever bought. And to me, when you just listen to the song without knowing Korean, of course, it's a banger. Hard. Like, you know, if you got to get some cleaning done, you got to want to play some Call of Duty, you put Gunshot on. Yeah, but like watching the video, like translating the lyrics, like to find out that it has such a deep message, it was like, wow, I've just been vibing this entire time. I had no idea that it has such, you know, a different meaning to it.
Right, exactly. You're like, then suddenly you're like, who hurt you?
Right. While it didn't chart in Korea, the anti-bullying message resonated strong with Korean netizens.
Right.
Korea don't mess when it comes to bullying, so
they don't.
Can see why. I think it was recently they said that top universities were actually rejecting top performing students because of bullying scandals on their permanent records.
That's smart. That's smart.
Jiwoo's popularity on the rap show Good Girl helped bring more domestic eyes to this comeback, which we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Okay.
Internationally, the song charted at number 4 on the World Digital Sales Chart. God, I'm so sick and tired of saying that. Fans praised the group for tackling such a serious K-pop topic with such raw intensity. This was also a bittersweet era for KARD, as Jseph would enlist for his mandatory service on October 5th, 2020. He is the only member that had to enlist since BM was born on American soil.
Right.
The group would enter a 22-month hiatus during this time. During this time, BM would focus on the Big Matthew brand. He would release his first solo project titled 777, followed by his English debut, Broken Me. This track dealt with the pain and struggles of mental health as a man, since men are expected to be strong individuals and hide such struggles from society.
Yeah,
one of my favorite songs of all time. You don't expect it from somebody like BM.
Right. Yeah, that's Kevin's favorite song too.
I was about to say, I know that's a big favorite of Kevin's.
Yeah, I know. Every time he blasts it, I'm like, who's hurting you? It can't be me.
The secret is out. Somin would become a prominent beauty influencer, while Jiwoo would dip her toes into the survival show game. She competed on Good Girl, Who Stole the Station, a show that saw popular hip-hop and R&B artists compete as a team against other South Korean musicians for a cash prize. Contestants included Ailey, Cheetah, Hyoyeon, Jamie, Lee Youngji, Queen Wasabi, Sleek, Jang Yi-yeon, and Yunwei, as well as
Lots of big names. Right.
Lots of big
names in that. Lots of big names in that one.
During this time, DPS Media would be acquired by RBW, the home company of Mamamoo.
Didn't know that.
I didn't know that until like a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know that they were the same company. Funnily enough, KARD is one of the last few groups to actually still be under the company. So
interesting. Okay.
Because, you know, we've had One Us and a whole bunch of other groups recently leave. So
yeah, for sure.
On April 4th, 2022, Jseph was discharged from the military and returned to the group. June of the same year, they released their 5th EP, RE, which stood for Restart, Rebirth, and Return. After multiple comebacks with a dark and gritty style, KARD used Ring the Alarm to return to the... I'm going to mispronounce this, guys. I'm really sorry.
Oh, no.
Their Moombathun and tropical house sound. Ring the Alarm was meant to be a summer anthem with its bright, rhythmic, and fun style. It felt like a direct callback to the energy of Ola Ola, but with a more mature sound. With the RBW acquisition, KARD was able to work with legendary producer Kim Do-hyun, who produced many of Mamamoo's biggest hits such as Hip, Egotistic, and Go Go Baby. The album RE became their best-selling album at the time, selling 7,895 copies on the first day and 20,000 copies in its first week. This was 7 times the first day sales of their album Way With Words. For the first time, KARD was able to see a spike in domestic interest. It didn't top the main digital charts, but it saw success for the first time on their own soil. On June 28, 2022, Ring the Alarm was nominated for first place on the show, ultimately losing out to Luna's Flip That and Kepler's Up. Makes sense. Kepler was, the big new survival show group at the time.
At the time, yeah.
But this is really their first appearance on a music show where they actually made it into the top 3.
Yeah.
Following the release of Ring the Alarm, all 4 members renewed their contracts with DPS Media. This was rare since at the time, outside of legacy groups such as Shiny and TVXQ, most groups didn't survive past the 7-year curse. This was far more common during the 3rd generation.
Right.
KARD would embark on their 2022 Wildcard Tour. This saw them visiting Latin America in July. They visited Brazil, Chile, Mexico, Colombia, and Argentina. They would then embark in the U.S. leg of the tour, visiting 11 major cities, including Washington, D.C., Brooklyn, Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles. This would see BM bring out a digital decibel meter at every show to see which city would scream the loudest. It became a viral competition among fans, with San Jose and Seattle being in the top 2.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that
a BM
one.
thing to do. Be like, no, I want to hear. Come on, I need proof that you guys are the loudest.
Right, exactly.
Like we saw 17 twice together, and how many times did S Coops be like, "Oh, I think Texas is the loudest," blah 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 blah. And it's like, I bet you said that at the last show and the show after this too.
Right, exactly. Like, don't lie.
BM was like, "Nah, I need proof. Come on,
proof. Yeah, I got numbers."
KARD would return to Korea with their 6th mini album Icky. They would completely abandon their idol image and focus on a more R-rated image. Now, normally Ann and I would describe the songs, but with Cake, we figure it's more of a if you know, you know situation, because I'm not going to be the one to break anyone's innocence.
No, right? You're like, you know what? How about we just watch together?
Right. I'm going to say it. This should have been the title track, not Icky. I understand that they share the same name, but...
Also, watching this live was wild, man.
I can only imagine.
So what's really fun is like, well, obviously, whenever the concert happens, fans will be singing along, rapping along, vibing, all sort of things. I think when they performed Cake, that was the loudest I heard the whole venue was. They were just screaming out the lyrics to this the whole time.
It's my favorite KARD song, and Roseanne makes fun of me for it all the time because of what the underlying meaning of the song is.
Right.
Like, it's not my fault it's so damn good.
Right? Vibing.
It's always on. Anytime someone's like, hey, I want to get into K-pop, can you give me some recommendations? It's always on there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then somehow Momoe always ends up on there too. I'm like, ooh, sorry about that.
Well, here we are.
Now that you've gotten me more to the hip-hop scene, like when people request, there's always more Jesse, J Park, and Simon on there.
Yeah, for sure. Always gotta put Simon Dominic's Maker Dance.
Yes. I think BM likes this song a little too much.
Just so much. Just throwing it. Also, what's cool about with KARD is that their choreography, whenever they come together, it works well for both the female and the male. It's not too fruity or it's a little too masculine or anything. It's a good middle. It works for
something
both
that
ways.
netizens have always praised, especially Jiwoo and Somin, about because they're able to hit all the dance moves that are more masculine just as well as the guys do.
Yeah, no, right. And the guys are also throw it back pretty well too.
Oh, 100%. Ma'am, sir.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
The funny thing about this is the fact that there's always that thing of oh, you can't have a co-ed group because they'll date each other and everything. But when you see these guys together, they're always get out of my face, I'm gonna punch you.
Right.
And then you see this, and this is a very intimate song amongst the members.
Nothing going on here.
I wonder if afterwards the Jiwoo was I had to touch BM.
I know, right? She goes to the corner and she's like,
99K, give me that K.
Yeah,
Put it in
whenever
my
they interact with
face.
each other on stage when they're doing their mints and everything,
Oh, hello.
they just act like siblings the whole time, and they're just like beefing with each other and like teasing each other type thing. They're like, oh, remember when you did this on stage? Ha, loser! Like you'll hype each other up, of course. You're like, hey, give it up for like your stage and all sort of things. But at the end, you're like, oh my god, but did you remember when you did this? Ha!
I literally can see Jiwoo in the corner going, I had to grind up BM. Because those two are the worst at being siblings.
I know, right? They just hate each other. No, they're not hating each other, you know?
I mean, BM picks on everyone, especially the girls, but like it's almost like that whole like CL and Big Bang thing.
Yeah.
But it always seems to be Jiwoo and BM the most that like pick on each other constantly.
Yeah, I know, right? They're just ready to fight the whole time, man.
KARD would once again take to the skies as they went on their largest tour to date, Playground. This saw them return to North America in July of 2023. This tour saw sold-out shows in LA, New York, and Chicago. The group also returned to Europe for the first time since 2017. Frankfurt and Paris both sold out quickly during the promotional phase. Budapest, Madrid, and London shows saw almost every single seat filled as well. Why was that so hard? Icky was followed by Where To Now Part 1 Yellow. This saw KARD leave behind their Mombaton roots and lean more into a retro 80s inspired funk sound. The title track Tell My Mama was a bright and more melodic track compared to many of their previous tracks. The group was highly visible on music shows like Music Bank and Show the Music Core, but again, didn't chart the Melon charts. Internationally, the song reached the top 10 iTunes charts in several European and Latin countries. The many hiddens were divided by this new sound, preferring the aggressive energy of previous tracks like Dunwoody and Icky. So this is what I was referring to earlier, that almost every single thing they have has been a bop except for this album. I understand that, you know, part of maturing and getting older is trying something new, but for me, this album was a complete mess. Like, the song was good, but it wasn't KARD in my eyes, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe this could be, it probably doesn't have anything to do with BM or any of the producers. It could be something from the higher ups for all we know, right? It could just them being like, hey, I know we're making international success, which is great, right? Because you do want that international success when you're touring outside of Korea. But the higher ups are probably like, especially since they've been acquired by RBW by this time, they're probably like, hey, let's change it up a little bit. Let's see if we can get some success on domestic soil. So that's probably maybe the reason why they decided to go with a different concept. I mean, Song is great. Some of the B-sides were good. It's just that it's a different concept from what we're so used to, especially since they've been building this up since like way back debut. So
yeah, so it's like we said earlier, like when you're listening to KARD, you're usually looking to get hyped. You want to get some house cleaning done. You know, you got to drive to work and you don't really want to go. Yeah. Tell My Mama was very much, oh, you're such a nice guy. Let me make sure I tell my mom about you. And it's like, ew. Why?
Yeah, right? The soap area just starts hitting. And I was like, you know what? You're pretty good.
Yeah. And, you know, this is around the time where we would see the BM, I call it a lie, but his future that he wants, where he doesn't want to be a slut anymore, his words, not mine, that he's ready to settle down and a husband, you know. I don't believe it for a second, especially considering what he has released since he said that. But I digress. Again, maybe BM will see this and he'll want to come on and say something. I don't know. Anyways, on July 2nd, they released their most recent comeback, at least at the time of recording, Drift. This was a return to the sound that made them famous. The title track, Touch, was an immediate hit with Hardens. It was a sound that the fandom was familiar with, and it stayed true to KARD's image of being idols for the adult fandom. This music video is very adult. I remember when I first watched it, I think I was getting ready for work. I was like, oh, hell, this has a 19 plus rating. That should tell you something.
That should tell you something right there. Right? This is the one where you're like, you know what? I want to watch some YouTube videos on the bus. I'm commuting, all those sort of things. And you see, you're like, I don't feel like this should be in a public setting. Even though you're the only one that's watching it.
Yep, 100%.
You're like, I feel bad watching this.
I mean, just look at the opening scene.
Already. Legs. booty.
Stop looking at me. I know what you like. Now I have my boo name. You would take it tonight. Just give me the
Black
night.
looks good, but I need her to go back to blonde. Like,
Right.
it's so weird.
All the girls staring at Beyonce.
I will say something that's great about BM is one, he's super confident about himself, but he also knows that his stand-up is 50% women and 50% men, and he leans into it hard. He is such an ally, and he loves the fact that he's got such a huge like gay following.
Right. He really leans to the fan service really well too. And him being just active in social media, I think helps too, because he knows what's going on. So
yeah, because I mean, he'll just go on live and on TikTok Live and play Call of Duty with fans, just like it's nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Even though he acts like a fool half the time, but I mean,
that's just his personality.
you know, those girls get around Jseph. Like, I'm like Simon Dominic.
This could have been a Simon Dominic song 100%. Like, I wonder if they've ever had the chance to collaborate, because that probably would have been such a cool thing for
I would
Jseph.
love that. Yeah. I would love that. Well, also, like, Simon Dominic, I don't think he's been back in the scene for a good while, too, so
No, I think he's focusing on being a dad now. I'm not even looking at filming at the moment.
Hey, yo! Yeah, there's a reason why it's 19 plus, you guys. This is it right here.
Again, I remember watching this the first time and I was like, oh, hello. Luckily, this came out after our video about Simon, so I was like, okay, I'm a little, it's not as shocking as, you know, what I've seen.
All my fellas with that energy, work it with ease. I put it down, body temp up to 100 degrees. All my ladies, all my queens, repeat after me.
I also like that each member gets like their own like sexy thing, where instead of just focusing on specifically on BM, like no, they're like, no, all of us are hot. You want all of us.
Right. Exactly.
Oh.
Oh,
look, there was a lot of the video was very sapphic, and you know, as a member of the LGBT community, I'm very for that. But like, we couldn't have gotten some like guys together or something, like.
Nah.
Because let's be 100%, there was at least one guy in that entire room that wanted to touch BM, like.
Right, or even Jseph, you know what I'm saying? So
right. Oh, I love that song so much.
It was so good. Yeah, crowd was also hyped during that time too.
I feel like that touch has probably brought in a lot more newer fans for them, so I can definitely see why.
I think so, especially since, well, I mean, KARD never say that for their show specifically was 18 plus or anything like that, but I think that one is more of the like our demographic type thing of age sort of thing. But then like once BM does his solo tours and everything, he obviously puts the 18 plus or 21 plus, whatever the age. I think it was 21 plus for his.
It was 21 plus because his stuff was always at like bars and clubs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the KARD one was also technically at a bar. I mean, the bar was literally right there, but I mean, it was all ages, but they do give you wristbands if they you say that you're drinking, that sort of thing too. So
I will just say, I remember going to my first ever K-pop night, and it was the all ages one. Now Roseanne and I go to the one that's at a bar, and it's 18 plus.
Right.
And that was when Icky came out, and somebody had requested Icky, and so like it starts playing, and you see all these like tweens and teenagers out there dancing to it, and me and Rose look at each other like, what the is going on? Like, y'all shouldn't even know this song, let alone how to dance to it.
All right, well, this is the crazy part. So obviously Kiddo loves KARD, listens to all the music that we will listen to as well. The Kiddo was like, one time was like, I can rap BM's part in an Icky like word for word with not flopping. And I was like,
No.
excuse me? And Kiddo was like, you want to hear it, Mom? I was like, no, but also intrigued, but no.
Well, it was like when after y'all went to the show, because you can put the little statuses on IG for a long time. The Kiddos was the lyrics to Cake, and I was like, take it down.
You're underage. Oh my god, no! And I think there was this one time. We'll get to the story time of it later. But Kiddo was like, "What do you think I should say to BM?" And I was like, I mean, you can just say hi, just like keep it short, don't take much of his time. And Kiddo was like, what if I just start rapping 13 IVI to him? I was like, you should not do this.
You do not know any of BM songs outside of Broken Me, ma'am.
All right.
Man. So Touch peaked in the top 5 on the show and performed strongly on Music Bank, though it didn't take home any trophies.
Mm-hmm.
During the first week, Drift sold over around 22,000 copies, reaching past 30,000 by the end of the year.
Nice.
So something I'm going to say about DPS and media is they are really bad about re-releases.
Oh, yeah, they are.
It is. If you do not get a KARD album during pre-order, you are never seeing that album
Never gonna get that. I know, right? But if you search for it, like for a used one or someone that happens to be, letting go of their collection, it's gonna be pricey, man.
Mm-hmm. I was very lucky that I know a GOM who does KARD stuff, and she always tries to get fan calls because she's done a couple of them, and her and BM are friendly with each other. Like,
oh, cool.
Her late father was actually a big fan of BM too, and like she had personalized photo cards signed by him.
Nice.
So she would always have extras for the fan call, and so she would sell them at retail. Like,
oh, that's great. I love that.
At Korean retail. That's the only way that I got the Icky album. I haven't gotten the last two. When I come up for the wedding and I hit K-pop Bestie, that's definitely going to be one of the ones I'm going to try to find, even though I know it's probably never going to happen.
No, I mean, sometimes every once in a while I'll be looking for a KARD album. I'm like, they don't have it.
Yeah. I know you can usually find the Gunshot album, and that's usually like one of the only ones. No, not Gunshot. Ring the Alarm. That's like one of the only albums you can ever find anywhere.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's like the more common ones. And
I remember going to Pink Box one time when I visited, and I asked them if they had Icky, and the girl was like, that's already oop, man. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she's like, you're out of luck. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Which is kind of the same thing with Mamamoo albums, because RBW is very bad about re-releasing their stuff as well. Like, especially the older stuff, like Delacome and all that. Yeah. If you didn't get it then, I think I paid $50 for that in Orlando for that album.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, well, but at least you found it.
True. KARD would finish off 2025 by embarking on their Drift tour. This would see their first tour in Seoul in nearly 5 years. For the first time, KARD actually saw domestic success, including multiple sold-out shows. Their opening show took place on July 19th, the exact date of their 8th anniversary. The American leg of the tour was originally canceled due to visa issues, but the group would finally return in December of 2025, visiting LA, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Whoever is in charge of their tour dates, you absolutely suck. I'm just going to say that. Because that is now the second time that I've gone to see KARD, and it's always during like a super busy season for the restaurant industry.
Holidays.
And I hate all of you so much.
I hate too.
But I'm actually going to give the mic over to Anne for a little bit because she's been dying to share this story for the last almost 3 months.
I know, for sure. I mean, I already made a quick video of it. If y'all follow me on my BST Instagram, I did make a quick video about it. But I feel like this one, I can speak in more detail about it without, the reels going so far out or anything like that. But like you said, we were very excited to see KARD. Like, we actually planned on seeing KARD, but we couldn't, especially with this new, obviously first time with visa. We're like, that can't be helped. Like, no big deal. They'll rebook. And once they rebook, we're like, oh my God, yeah, we can see KARD. Holidays. I was like, you have got to be joking me. It's literally the day after winter break here in the DFW area. It's going to get busy. It's the week before Christmas. I can't go. So me and TJ obviously agreed. We're like, nah, we're not going. There's absolutely no point. And, holiday and rush and monies and all sorts of things. Like, yeah, forget about it. We'll just catch them next time. That sort of thing. So throwback to when I did the SF9 event thing because they performed at the Regionally Theater across from my restaurant. I was hosting it. I was meeting lots of great fantasies. It was super fun. I got freebies and albums to hand out, all sorts of things. One of my good Cup Sleep friends, her name is Rocio. She is the owl craft events.
Mhm.
She had this amazing opportunity where she gets to be one of like the point of contacts for the Dallas stop, and her job is literally just book the hotels, make sure they get food, make sure they have transportation, and I think that's pretty much it. The rest, like security wise and everything, is all by the tour management type thing,
Right.
sort of thing. So she like knew like a friend of a friend or something that she was able to get this opportunity, and there she was like, okay, well, I've already hit up all these places, like the Korean spots that some idols will go to in the Dallas area for dinner. When they land, this is their lunch place and all sort of things. The issue that she was having at the time was figuring out catering for the day of the concert, because they obviously can't leave. They have a packed schedule that day. They got rehearsals, sound check, meet and greets, all these sort of things. So someone has to cater for them. And she literally hit up all the places. She even asked me before this, like, what are some places that I can get like Texas barbecue? Where can I get catering for Korean food sort of things? And finally she came up to me on the day of the SF9 concert. I was like, hey, so there's this group that's coming in December, and there's like 4 members, and it's kind of co-ed. And I was just like, say less, tell me more. Like logic out the window. And she's like, well, I really do need to figure out catering, and it needs to be like a good deal, but I'm willing to work with you because we know each other. She's like, I'll work with you. We can make where it benefits you, but also benefits us and the group at the same time. She pretty much told me this is what they are looking for. This is how many people you're feeding. And then we talk about like price points, contracts, all the business stuff. And it worked out to where we get to cater for KARD. And I told my husband, I said, we're catering for KARD. And he was like, are you sure? I was like, let me tell you. I worked this out. I pulled up the contracts, and he was like, you hate writing contracts. Like, I know, but I freaking did it for BM. But anyways, pretty much we cater for KARD. We make sure that it's all to the artist preferences. We didn't really cater to what staff preferences were, sadly, but I mean, in the end, you're just catering to the artist type thing, that sort of thing. We managed to get free tickets to the concert. We got a sign poster and all these sort of things. So the day of the concert, we pretty much prep it at the restaurant, which is in Fort Worth, by the way. Fort Worth and Dallas was like an hour drive. Plus, you had to put in the downtown Dallas traffic. So it was about a good hour and 10 minutes, maybe, for us to get there. And I was like, babe, we gotta prep it early. We gotta deliver it by this time. And then he was like, don't worry, I got you. So we get there, all these other things, but the parking situation was kind of weird and security kind of stopped us. But thankfully Rosie was outside. But she was like, only one of y'all can come in and deliver it, and then the other one just has to go park the car and just meet us up in the front where the box office is. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, awesome. So Kevin will go and carry all the food in. I'll park the car with Kiddo, and we'll just meet up at this front area type thing. Went in fine, all these other things. And but then also Rosie was saying like, hey, because you are kind of sponsoring or catering to KARD, you get to meet them. So that's why Kiddo was like, what am I going to say to BM? Should I just rap 13 IBI? Should I just start rapping Icky? I was like, keep your expectations low, man. But it was really cool. The concert was super great. We got to enjoy those other things. And the whole time, I think it was kind of very interesting because I did see some kids there, but not like kids, you know, like elementary school kids, which I think might have been better that way. But I did see like a good amount of like high school kids, but most of them I think are just 21 plus, because everyone was just vibing. It was at the bar area type thing, so everyone was just drinking and vibing and sort of things. Someone bought BM no, they didn't buy BM a shot. They bought Jseph and GU shots because they lost. Because I think the Dallas stop was the last stop for North America in general. So they were saying how like the punishment, they obviously prepped the punishment for the members who lost whatever that competition was. So they were like, well, we already prepped it, but everyone's like, shot. So this girl actually went over and bought shots as a punishment for them. It was like straight up like vodka or tequila or something. I was just like, girl, they're gonna, and she was like, woo! But yeah, so then after the whole concert, we stayed behind because they're getting the what was it, the not meet and greets, the one where they get to take Polaroid photos, I think.
Oh, like the pick a pose?
Yeah, the pick a pose thing. That's what it was. Yeah, so they were able to do that. Snapshot, yes. So whoever pays for the snapshot is always usually at the end of the concert, because that's when the members would change into the more comfy clothes and they're not, you know, like ruining their performance routine type thing or anything like that. So this is like when they're more chill, the adrenaline's still kind of high, that sort of thing. So the staff was like, hey, if you just wait off to the side, we will get y'all whenever all the fans who paid for the snap shoot to finish up. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, awesome. So we're just waiting, we're just vibing, and then it was our turn. So there's another caterer. I think they did the breakfast lunch, I think, and we did the dinner one. We all went in as a group photo to save time because they had to haul their butts over to the after party, which was about 10-15 minutes away, but they're already running late. That was the thing. They partied too hard, they were running late, so they were like, we gotta go, so we gotta make this fast. So we got into the group photo, all these other things, and I don't remember who was standing well. I kind of blacked out during this part, but we're just standing there taking a photo, and then, you know, everyone said their thanks to the members, and we're trying to say like, oh my god, you did so well, you know, good job, you know, you look so pretty, you know, just compliments you would usually give to idols. I was about to say thank you to BM, just like hey, thanks, man, you know, for taking a photo, you know, very simple. He looked at my shirt. He looked at this shirt, okay? He looked at this shirt. It was like, hey, I see you, girl. This is my OG, like, merch. I was like, I know. And it was like things. And then he actually did this. Okay, so he was saying, and I was like, well, thank you, you did great on stage. He was like, yeah, no, thanks for coming. Thanks for, you know, catering, or sorry, this or whatever. And he did this. Like, he's reaching for a handshake, right? And I'm like slow motion, sparkles, K-drama movement. Huh? And guess what? My husband shoved me aside.
I knew that was going to be what was going to happen.
He shoved me aside and he said, hey, yo, BM, you're going to be at that after party? And he was like, yeah, man, you know. And it comes like, man, how long are you going to stay there? He's like, as long as the manager tells me to, man.
See, Anne's theory or practice that when she goes to K-pop concerts, she is single for the night. Unfortunately, that does not work when your husband is there and also wants to be with BM for the night.
My God! I was about to touch his hand, but then my husband had to shove me out of the way. Oh my God. But yeah, that was my brief interaction with KARD and being able to cater for KARD, which was all of its own. It was very fun. It was kind of stressful as like a restaurant owner, obviously, right? To make sure everything goes well. There's no mix-ups or anything. BM has publicly said that he doesn't like cucumbers or anything like that. So we made sure to label his and be like, this one has no cucumber whatsoever. So this is only for BM. The rest of them, it's just like, make sure they have beef, they have chicken, that sort of thing. So all that stuff, which is really cool. Then obviously I made that reel, that TikTok, that sort of thing. I posted it up as a quick, small mini vlog type thing describing all that stuff, which you can definitely see on my TikTok and Instagram. Then BM, my man BM, commented on it. Oh my God. And he was saying how, the funniest thing was that it's not funny, but he did say like, you know, thank you for catering. Food was great, which is amazing because it's one thing for our regular customers and everything saying that the food is good, but to have your idol that you kind of enjoy seeing on stage, that you everything that you would be able to cater to, saying that your food is good, it's kind of like a different feeling as like a fangirl type of moment. So it was really cool. And then I think the funniest part was that he actually did say like, I had to go and pick up other people's California rolls and make sure to push out each cucumber in it. And I was just like, you're such a kid for picking out. And then kid was like, can you imagine? He's just going around to everyone's California roll, be like, hey, do you want that? No, can I have it? Cool. And he just starts using his chopsticks. She's like, oh, cucumbers. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was my brief interaction with BM until, Kevin ruined it.
Hey, now remember, BM commented on your Instagram, not on Kevin's. So
I know, and then Kevin, I'm sure you can see it because I think whoever you follow, usually their comments pin automatically to the top of it or whatever.
Right.
So I obviously commented, said, "Oh my god, you saw this! Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like the food," or whatever type thing. Kevin really commented right below that. He's not gonna respond to you, man. He knows me.
Kevin's like, "No, that's my man. That ain't your man."
We're about to fight. Oh my gosh. But real quick, this is the stickers that I use for the catering.
I was trying to find my sticker that you gave me to be like, see, she's telling the truth.
I have it right here. And then I also have, they did the banner project as most K-pop groups do. So this is theirs right here. And so they were shorthanded, they were shorthanded on the amount of banners or something like that. So, towards the ending of the Ment, they would take the photos with all the crowds, and usually the idols would be holding the banners as well type thing. There was not enough for the members, so Rocio actually had to come out to the crowd, find me. She's like, "Can I take the banners real quick?" I was like, "Yeah." "Yeah, sure." So I don't know which member held which one, but I got two of them. It was touched by them, and it was a little wet at the time, which meant that they kind of had water on them or sweat. Can't tell. Don't know. Don't want to know.
That's Anne's "I will never wash this hand again" moment.
I don't think you could even wash this because then you just disintegrate this paper, But I mean, it's a nice thick paper. But yeah, no, this is really cool. That was my KARD moment, and now me and BM are best organized.
Watch, BM's gonna comment on this video and be like, "Nah, girl, I got you. Don't worry."
Right? Let me shake your hand, man.
So jealous because I wanted to go to that show, but it was the week before Christmas, and couldn't do it.
Right? I know exactly. Well, that's another thing too, because logistically, I wouldn't still be able to go. So my thing was, it was getting to the point where I said to Kevin, "How about you and Kiddo just go, deliver it, and attend the concert, or whatever way we want to do it." But Kevin was very set that I have to be there as well,
right,
or I'm just going with Kiddo type thing. So he kind of arranged where everything worked out. He made sure all the servers were there. He made sure his sister was working at the other location. That way my mom can come over to the Fort Worth location. So it's just all these logistics of working this out to make this happen. So I mean, props to Kevin, even though he ruined the moment. He worked up for this moment. Again, I love you, Kevin.
I need to write that down for whenever you guys do your renewal ceremony. I could be, and the biggest mess up that Kevin has ever done
in the past 10 years.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
So KARD is a group that is all about breaking the traditions of their predecessors. They entered the music industry that had proven to not be so kind to co-ed groups and changed the entire landscape. They abandoned all traditional sounds and went from a group that sought out teenage demographic to releasing music that was meant for an adult audience. Mm-hmm. While the group hasn't released anything since they're finishing their tour, that doesn't mean that KARD is silent. BM released a second EP Point with the title track Freak featuring BI. Again, I don't believe a word of his lie that he just wants to settle down and be a good boy now. Especially when you bring BI in on a song called Freak.
Of all the guys you could bring into.
He is also regular on many dive studio shows, including Get Real and Waiting. Jseph has shifted to being a mentor for aspiring rappers, and so has continued being a fashion and beauty influencer. And Jiwoo entered the solo game with her first solo album, Exist, with the title track Home Sweet Home, which just released a couple of weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
So, of course, co-ed groups are becoming more popular thanks to a particular group that, we're not going to talk about because of their controversies. But KARD took what Koyote did and was able to, while they may not have seen that success back home, they created an entirely new market for their kind of sound.
Yeah, for sure.
And it works out really well, especially with BM being an American native, being from LA. To go from I want to, help trouble you to, oh crap, I'm on this show and I don't really speak Korean. Oh God, please help me. To being probably, I would say BM is probably one of the most well-known Korean, really, influencers, if you get down to it, especially in the American market, because he does not filter anything that comes out of his mouth.
No, doesn't, right? He just says how it is, which is kind of refreshing, because I know you go through the idol training. I'm sure there's like a PR team, media team that's like, you have to make sure you're posting mindfully, in a sense, right? You're saying things mindfully as well that will not catch you up in a scandal, that sort of stuff. And that's just years and generations of the K-pop scene that you're trying to break through, which is hard. But I think they do give a lot of grace to BM, only because he is Korean American. He is one of the older idols trainees that I'm sure you can't break that, break that training in him, that sort of thing. But also there's just this rise of Korean Americans, or like Korean Canadians, just like any Koreans that is not born in Korea that has a different background, coming into these K-pop scenes recently, and then just being able to bring notice from your home country to Korea and K-pop or K-hip hop, with like J Park's new group Longshot. They have like a French guy in there as well, I believe. Right. So you have like all these different ethnicities coming in too, that helps broaden the horizon. And it's like with BM, when he started producing all these songs for KARD, he's also bringing like Latin influences, those other things, because he doesn't want to just cater to the Koreans, the K-pop scene Koreans. He also want to make sure they're successful internationally, because international fans are just as important as Korean fans.
Well, and I'm sure, like, with his mindset is like, I want to make songs that my homeboys and homegirls back home are going to dance to. Like, what did we listen to in the clubs back then? Let me bring something that, like, they could do. I will say BM is definitely in that category of the idols that don't give a what. And it seems to be mostly the Korean Americans and Korean Canadians. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
J Park says whatever he wants. Jessie says whatever she wants. BM does. Even Kehoe from P1 Harmony, like, there have been times where I'm like, sir, you can't say that, especially to children. Like, but it's wild to think, because when you get into, everyone has their own opinions. But one argument that I have with a mutual friend of ours is that she considers KARD to be Nugu. And I'm like, maybe by K-pop standards, but they are by no chance Nugu, because they have that international market. They are so popular in South America, Latin America, and the United States.
Yeah, for sure.
So it depends on how you look at it. Because are we talking domestically? Then yes, they are still trapped in that Nugu fandom.
Yeah.
But if we look at the actual numbers and their actual success, like, anyone that I have talked to here in America that knows K-pop, they know who KARD is.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and sure, they were criticized for being more Western influenced and all that, but they did what they needed to do, and it created a different style of fandom. And I think, because of KARD, we got groups like Exceed, where every member was, I think, 30 or older. We get that music that it's okay to cater more towards an adult audience. Like, for example, Monsta X's All About Love album, that song is not a Valentine's Day album, despite the fact that it was released on Valentine's Day. Like, that is a very 18-plus album. Even, I mean, SF9 has gotten more mature. Alexa's another good example, being, Korean American, is like, her music has gotten a little more mature and a lot more, I'm not really singing towards teenagers. Like, you have artists that seem to struggle to get out of that area. Like, I think that's Taylor Swift's niche. She sings songs that, most 16 and 20-year-olds would probably enjoy, about heartbreak and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah.
Whereas, again, you have KARD, who is singing lines like she's asking for the tip, and I ain't talking about guidance. I feel like I need to go to confession after this episode.
Well, don't worry. My sister's wedding in 1 month. It'll be at a Catholic church, so there you go.
But the point I'm trying to get across, and Anne has also said, is like, it was a huge risk not only to debut a co-ed group, but to also decide, what, everything that everyone has said we have to do. We don't want our fans to be 15, 16-year-olds. Like, we're getting older, and our fans are getting older, and so we want to cater to that demographic.
For sure. Which I'm sure a lot of idols or just anyone that's out in public as like an influencer, YouTuber, just anything in that film, and you're catering to fans as well. Sometimes when you're stuck in that niche, you just stick with it, and then like your YouTube channel starts plummeting or those other things. I think the best example I can give is like PewDiePie. Obviously, big Let's Play YouTuber, right? And he acted like a fool in the beginning, right? Because, you know, it's just silly little teen, you know, around that demographic age, right? But now he's married, he's a father, he's living in Japan, and he's just like showing family vlogs. And it's kind of crazy because obviously I watched him back then, but now, you know, obviously I'm a mother myself. I'm a, you know, I'm a wife. So it's kind of like growing up with him, which is so great to see. But then there's some other YouTubers that just kind of stick with the same thing over and over, and you lose viewers from that because you're like, I'm now 35 years old, why am I watching this also 35-year-old doing the same thing they were doing 20 years ago? You know, like that's not my thing anymore. I rather look into the other stuff. And it's great that KARD also makes sure that it not only is we're growing up with them in a sense, it's also songs and sounds that everyone can almost relate and easily listen to as well. It's not like I know Korea is like, oh, this is like super experimental, it's not, you know, what we are used to, that sort of thing. But I mean, Korea as a whole is already stuck to their own thing, but for them to make it kind of like more well-rounded, I think also helps as well, especially internationally too.
Oh yeah. And you know, someone's got to be the hype man, and KARD fits that vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And they took that Beast Idol thing, because we still have Beast Idol groups to this day. Like Stray Kids and ATs are very similar in that sense, but you know exactly what you're gonna get with like an AT's comeback. Like when Adrenaline came out, you and I both said, "Oh my god, this is taking me back to like Halazia, Break the Wall," like because they went back to their original sound. When Stray Kids comes out, you know, they've been doing a lot of experimenting, but they kind of go back to their old sound. And the reason that they are considered Beast Idols is because they're so aggressive, they're so in your face. Like one of my favorite moments from Adrenaline is literally seeing San get up in the camera and like start screaming in the camera.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas KARD took it, and yes, their music is aggressive. It's very, you know, the choreography is very physical and all that.
Yeah.
But what was the point I was trying to make? Caffeine taking over again.
Oh, no. Maybe it's like what you're trying to say is that it's not the standards of K-pop groups in a sense. Right. Because obviously ATs can be aggressive, you know, Stray Kids can also be aggressive, but they're also following that K-pop boy group formula.
Correct,
Whereas KARD, you know, they're doing choreography, that sort of thing, but they're also able to kind of throw in their own color and making moves that you probably would see out in the open in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more relatable, whereas, like, the choreographed K-pop groups, you have to practice for that, man.
Yeah, so I guess what I was really trying to say is that, like, they took the Beast Idol image, and it was not intentional for us to do, like, three Beast Idol groups back-to-back. It just happened that way.
Back-to-back.
They took what 2 p.m. said, we want to try different, that BAP took and ran with, but they made up their own Beast Idol image. Because they did things that would be considered shocking in America. And Bomb Bomb, when Jiwoo removed her cover.
Oh, yeah,
and we all saw the back. Like that.
Yeah. No one does.
No one does it. Like, I can't imagine outside of Jessie, really, a female artist that would show that much skin, really.
Right, exactly. I can't think of anyone either. That's the crazy thing, because I was playing through it and I was like, I can't say Jessie. That's just Jessie, right? But like in a more, like almost like in a provocative way, but also not as in your face type thing. It's like suggestive type thing. But I was like, I don't think anyone else has even done that.
Because I mean, think about it, like, so like Jamie, when she appeared in King Daniel's Wave with Simon Dominic.
Yeah.
She was very sexy in a way, but she was also very modest in her appearance.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Whereas KARD, I mean, we literally see Soman's booty cheeks as soon as Touch opens. And the fact that, like, there was also the sapphic members, that, you know, moments between the two female members with the other female dancers.
Right,
and like, so it's almost, they took the Beast Idol image and made like a more mature Beast Idol image. Where it's okay to show skin, to show, you know, same-sex attraction and things like that. Because they could have just done it where it's like, oh, kind of like, not to throw him to the wolves, no pun intended, but like, you go see a Stray Kids show, you know that Bang Chan's going to show his abs. Whether he wants to or not, he's going to show his... Because when we saw him, he didn't want to show his skin, and the members forced him to. Now he's more confident. So they could have just gone that route where it's like, oh, BM, flash your titties, whatever. That's what fans expect. But they're able to lean into a more sensual and sexual side with all of the members. To where it's not pandering, almost, if that makes any sense.
For sure. Yeah. No, you're not. They're doing it because they feel very confident in doing. It's not part of the choreographed way. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, lift up your shirt. At this point, do this. At this point, do that. That sort of thing. Like a certain set list of it.
And it's, you know, it would be one thing if they were more underground. Like if they were part of, what is the company Simon and Jay had? AOMG. If they were part of AOMG, of course you're going to be seeing booty cheeks flapping and all that.
That's like their concept.
But like, KARD is a mainstream K-pop group when you get down to it. And so like they are doing things that a lot of other groups to this day still are not able to do.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, and I'm going to flat out say it. I don't care if I get hate for it. They paved the way for All Day Project. Like, if KARD had been successful with what Koyote did, because, I mean, you wanted, when I first started writing, you wanted me to focus on a whole bunch of other groups that had also been co-ed. But, like, one, the Coyote section got too long, but also so many of them, like, were involved in scandals, like dating scandals and other stuff, that it wasn't possible. And so I'm sure that was a fear that DPS had until they realized that nobody can stand BM. They all just want to punch him in the throat because he's so annoying. And, you know, again, we love BM, but I'm sure that I see the looks on the girls' faces all the time. They're like,
they're ready to
back up right now.
Dude, they're plotting 100 ways to get him in his sleep right now, right?
And then it's always like, because again, BM is like, you gave a kid an entire pixie stick, and the girls are like, calm down. And then you got Jseph in the background going, hey.
Yeah, no, that's literally the whole vibe of that concert. It's just BM being the hype person the whole time, right? Obviously, because he can also speak English better than the other members, sort of thing. He was just a hype man the whole time. But every time he goes a little too crazy, you can see the girls just standing there going, and Jason's just like doing this to all the fans. He's like,
Jiwoo and Silver are like, when this show is over. Like when you
once we get to the club.
Once you, like when you're a kid and you misbehave and your mother's like, once we get to the car, I swear to God.
For sure. Once we get backstage in the dressing room.
But I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. This was supposed to be like episode 2 originally of season 3, but it kept getting backed up and backed up and backed up. So we hope you liked it. If you haven't listened to KARD, which I'd find very surprising.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Don't give them a listen to. Listen to Jiwoo's new album. If you are 18 or older, please go listen to wow. If you're 18 or older, go listen to BM's albums. If you're not, if you get in trouble with your parents, that's not our fault. We warned you ahead of time.
Right, exactly.
But this was a lot of fun. KARD is definitely one of my favorite groups. I know it's one of your favorite groups as well. Maybe we'll get lucky. Like I said, BM will see this or something and he'll want to talk or something.
BM, hit me up, please. I'm sorry, my husband was in your face asking you when you're leaving the club.
But we will see you guys next time. Bye.
난 흥이 줘 실수들이 오늘 밤에 서 평생 네 오지